Oh boy, this is going to be an undertaking. I know that a few of you out there have at least been anticipating this quite highly, and I'm not quite sure what to think other than a relatively updated version of Gintama made into a movie format. It really can't go wrong. And because it is a movie, it's practically confirmed that this is going to be an entire arc in of itself. So I'm wondering where they're going to go for this and what kind of spectacles I should be awaiting. But of course, there's only one way to truly enjoy this, and that is to sit back and relax, get yourself a nice hot beverage, and let's get going with Gintama. I can't tell you the last time I saw that kind of Warner Brothers intro. Oh! The aspect ratio! It's beautiful! But to see a Gintama episode take up the entirety of the screen. And why have they decided to take such an interest? Yep. Give oh, wow, nah, brothers, huh? It is kind of expected that Gintama would pull this kind of stationary scene for quite a while, use up as much time as possible without having to actually animate anything. It's a lot of work, isn't it? We've already done this part. I suppose if you wanted to skip that initial pick somewhere to start. How far back are you planning to take us? Don't play the Warner animation again. Well, then, once again, the people who would be seeing this will either already be well known of who these are, or you could have done it in a more natural method. Sure. I think we can tell who the punching bag is. This noise is going to haunt me in my dreams now, isn't it? Mm. Nice, like sakura blossoms. Oh, going back quite far then. I don't think they're quite stringent enough to make Gin learn. So that was that. First one, Katsura. Second one, the bandaged face dude. And what does that sword mean to Gintoki? He loved lamp. I mean, even if it is slight, well, I wouldn't say slight, but the upgrade and everything here, including it, even just the fidelity of it is amazing. Mm. Nicer coloured blade. Is he the blind one? Of course, we can't take anywhere of their characters. Can't expect them to change all too much. At least not in the building. Take it outside. Ah, it was. Interesting. Of course, the one who works from the shadows doesn't need much of a unique look. So building him up quite strong here, aren't they? And they are definitely not up to task to take him on, even if they tried. It is a very good training method. Okay, Elizabeth. It's good to see that it can get a hat to fit. I wonder if I have to pay extra for that. Why seek their help if you're not even gonna write them a letter of what's wrong? unsophisticated customer. Is it alright to be ignoring your client and potentially bad-mouthing them? Are they even in there? Like, they're in the bathroom at the minute, that's just the costume. A good receptionist. Don't use strawberry milk. I think that's a far too arduous task to train Gintoki. See? I'm not good enough. Yeah, good job. It is that pleased. If they called, wouldn't they have put that down for later? No, we heard that one fine, though. Are you hiding? Yeah, a big bruise. Why does it always have to be a troublesome person around? Keeping up with their, or his at least, way of speech. But what is it? Whenever the sword itself is named, it did give off a sheen, indeed. But that just means that it's going to be more troublesome to reacquire it. Oh, so just let a woman handle it. That might be fine. Apart from just, reacquiring the sword, just shout right in his face. At least we know that the the bodies found having been Katsura himself is just still missing. But still. Elizabeth is rather attached to Katsura for some reason. Where did he get the brass knuckles from? I'm not sure how I feel about the sound effects. Why does it make it sound like the interior of Elizabeth is liquid? Who is the true evil? Is that a disguise or to? Oh no, he's his bruise has gone down. I don't believe it's against the law. Who was it that gave you this information? And he'd already learned it. But why is a member of the Shinsengumi helping Gintoki out in such a way? I need to shout. So what is his standing in this? What could be in such a hive of villainy? Kagula's brother? Not good enough, yeah. Is Elizabeth training? Why is there a Justaway in there? And, or is she waiting? And I know my, the pronouns I'm using for Elizabeth change whatever I'm feeling at that particular time, so. Really? Suspicious? Oh, that goes half of him. I feel that was slightly unnecessary. kicking him to safety. Just in time. Seems that way so far. Yeah, and was he in that bin like the girl the firefighter girl was hiding in the bins for the arsonist in the other episodes? I don't think rage is very helpful in a skilled sword fight, so we'll see how Elizabeth reacts. I mean, anyone can have silky hair. He wouldn't fall to in in such a dishonourable manner. Gross. And what is she going to stumble across with such a imposing colour from the moon? What's that buzzing? Oh, from like a ship or something here. I mean, sure, you're learning something there, but it doesn't really help. Don't eat the map. The fact he needed those exclusive orders. For some reason, it reminded me of the Soul Edge just then. Was not fast enough to read that. I would say it's surprising that Elizabeth is capable of making such expressions, but this is Gintama, isn't it? You're getting some good battles, though. Are we going to see Gintoki have to do away with his wooden sword at some point? Since he's blind, what if you overwhelm his senses? Oh, great. Well, you're definitely disadvantaged, aren't you? Was that the usual, like, the sword goes there? It could have avoided a lot of things, but we haven't seen Gintoki have to take that kind of action. Giving quite a lot of exposition away to a dying man, no? Literal or good strike? Damn it. Interrupted. Shinpachi really stepping up there. Did he manage to take a portion of the sword or something? Do you really think you should be standing so close to him? I'm guessing that is a fable or something. Or someone in from the sexual world. Impressive movements. Especially compared to the usual. Well, how we see Kagura, don't we? Don't both humiliate her and try to make win from this kind of tactic. Don't take your eyes off of her. Really? You're not gonna shoot her wrists or anything to make her drop her weapons? Maybe you could use someone that was able to infiltrate. But I, that's special treatment. Isn't it all about equal rights? Gender equality. Shoulder shot. Good face. Do you think she'd go down with this? I think we see who the quote like good guys are, considering we've not seen any attacks to kill so far. And of course, that was going to lead onto a black screen. So, did they all interpret their sensei's words differently? Quite the battlefield. Is there a winner in such a situation? Wow, what a coma dream he was having. He's not. He's too stubborn to go that easily. Did you want to recover? Sure, but in a room like this, is it really wise to have a long shafted weapon? Can't swing it around or maneuver easily. Yeah, you might want to listen to her care instructions. Giving up that easily once again, Elizabeth. Really, you pull that out when in the rain? Oh. Oh no. A bit more than just the silent sibling in the blacksmith duo. So was that without So he went out without the authority to do so. Is it really a good idea to keep people who can't follow orders? Don't like where this is going. Don't like it. Would you. Would anyone willingly assimilate with something like that? And what does their leader have to say about this? But at least they stand for something. No idea what this one does. Hmm. Dangerous. Especially in the hands of someone skilled. Okay. Kinda didn't see that one or the big manufacturing plant coming, but I do like the music. He can't keep quiet still, can he? And what does he think is going to happen to him after the after he finishes all the manufacturing? I don't think they even needed to place a request to try and, get that, if that's what they wanted. I don't think he deserves to get off lightly. Hmm. If you're just you doing it as like a wholesaler, yeah, you're not a you're not involved in it, unlike this brother. Is it alright to just keep your head down and do what you know, not get involved? Sometimes. Is this something that she could have had a hand in stopping. And the whole mechanized sword thing is just making it more of an issue. Even if it was entirely true that Gintoki didn't want anything to do with it, the fact that Kagura is now involved to this kind of degree. It's a monstrosity. That's what that is. Why are they getting within range of her? Just don't give her any food and put like a banquet just out of reach of her. I'm sure she'll spill quite a lot. I think he's also really not sure on what the word feminist means. Yeah, she's a pro. Been saving that one up, have you? Well, that devolved rather quickly. It's Katsura, obviously. Maybe they can lead, take the lead there. Don't step in the middle of those two. Pretty much anything can be housed yeah, within that frame. Is actually taking the advice to rest up. Or was it just to get this sister in to let her guard down? So she won't pick up the spear as quickly. What a rookie mistake to make. Is the sister going to be as daft enough to not know that he was going to go? I quite like it. Yeah. I'd quite happily walk with that kind of umbrella. What's wrong? Well, you don't have the most. Inauspicious bases. Just a giant ship. I'm surprised that those ships were able to stay in the air for that long without some sort of return fire. Some nice rain there. You got a nice figurehead for the ship. Those people have no idea who she is. See? So much for your strategic genius. You're really trying to get yourself executed, aren't you? He did well. Hopefully, this isn't going to turn out to be a reenactment of Akira, a movie I haven't actually seen, but I know of. Is he not very happy about that? I can't begin to say what this guy's thought process is. But with someone that is going to become increasingly more dangerous, is he okay with just keeping him around? Especially one that doesn't listen to orders. Yeah, I don't think he's the kind to hold back. Well, find something soft to break your fall with. It's a reoccurrence of the was it a taxi with Sadaharu on the top. I believe I've seen those kind of like flying air motorcycles, but maybe not horse shaped ones. So are we getting a backstory origin point of that character? It was mentioned that it was designed to take down airships. Even with a weapon capable of that, will the human body be able to withstand the strain of it? At this point, even if it is completely augmented. Is the mystery going to be revealed? It was actually a costume inhabited entirely by rats. That explains how Elizabeth was managed to get onto the ship while holding a army at bay. Any reason why Katsura himself was lying not really incognito, because using the guise of Elizabeth. Do you really think you'd be able to get up to the ships with just a moped? The original? Huh. It's got a rather ornate guard. It might be adding unnecessary weight to it, though. Elizabeth becoming an overlord. Well, Elizabeth read the script already, so. I preferred the longer hair version of Katsura, but called himself up from the depths. The notebooks from class. Maybe not directly, but still. Are we ignoring the fact that while this conversation is going on, there is someone just out there destroying all of the airships? I forgot Katsura was a master of explosives. Making them work when they didn't have to. Oh, they think it was like the Elizabeth that hired them was Katsura. Yeah, but you've got swords. You can take down the one they're using as a weapon, at least. Full speed ahead. Why haven't I ever thought of using a sign as my battle charge shout? He's got a loyal band of followers. Why doesn't has Elizabeth ran out of ammunition for that mouth cannon? So why does Elizabeth know more about this situation than really should be expected? Well, it's Katsura. He's probably having long, in-depth talks with Elizabeth about anything and everything. He hasn't really been that much of a strategist, at least that we've been shown. That's the payment. Oh no, not food for Sadaharu. Which costs more, hers or Sadaharu's? Yeah, like that would be able to repay the loss of one of them, but still. Yeah, they're not background mercenaries. They're not just gonna fall over from a light breeze like we see in many, many films. You don't need a well laid out plan when you've got just full on ass hattery. And how is the battle going to turn out when Gintoki, instead of a wooden sword, has that dragon turd? I am interested to see what if Gintoki himself has actually got anything up his sleeve for this. How deep was that hand wound? See what I mean about henchmen and just crumpling? And if anyone was going to take that head on, it probably would be Gintoki. Yeah, he don't care. He already said, do not call us comrades. You know, if he didn't come across such organizations and reformed himself, he could have been of quite a lot of use. Well, jobs throughout history change. Rather nihilistic view, but still. Is the you've got to shout close to him for him to respond thing that they pretended to be a thing before gonna reappear? Yeah, what reasoning are they going to pull out for this? Is it just his dedication? He truly learned the lessons that were taught to him. The annoying light, and he's the blind one. There's meaning behind those words there, yeah. And are you drunk? Trying to outdo them, each other with their feints. Ah, fast loader, nice. I think I counted more bullets than should have been fired out of those. Surety. I'll accept it this once. Lovely. He could be a Digimon at this point. And he no longer sees friend or foe. And he is bulletproof. Is this the yeah, it was the blacksmith that was talking, not just some random narrator. Do you not have like a passphrase that just shuts down the AI and the chip? You don't have a failsafe. Putting herself in harm's way there. She's got conviction, that girl. And are you proud of what you've created? Flashback scenes. The de facto, oh, I've remembered something that my, I don't know, in this case, maybe even father or whatnot, said in the past. So, as a. It's once again just quest for power. Or to prove that they are better. Splat. clean. Is this going to be the natural kind of Gintama way of bleak but meaningful end? Why is it always at the very last minute I realise what's truly important? One thing that Gintoki himself can't stand. An actually good swordsmith. Even though she might have overdone it with the decorations. I mean, making a worthwhile product or whatnot doesn't mean you put your entire being and soul into it, but those that take at least pride in their work makes it for a nice story. Double tap. Well, every sword in a way protects, but it's down to the user. So he can speak softly. So what about the battle between Katsura? I'm guessing in that sort of battle thing that keeps being referenced. Why does it have to be at the apex of that kind of conversation? It cuts away. The right at the beginning when you got the guy with the headphones on. Way to make every situation less tense, Kentucky, even in a flashback. It's always a revenge story at the heart of it, isn't it? At least for Kentucky, he can live vicariously through the memories of him or not. Even if the entire, like as you see it, thing's wrong, burning everything to the ground is not the the path to take. You have to abandon your humanity. Do they think that they are capable of taking on Katsura? Is there any redeeming factors for him? That sign is incredibly effective. He's not listening. He's got more important things than to listen to what you're saying. Are they going to regret their decision? Make him laugh with his hair? Their goal here has been achieved. I like the designs for some of the aliens here. Ooh. Interesting style that Kentucky has there. And was I can't remember his name, plan to get these no alien things all gathered in one spot so he can take them down as well, but under the guise of being evil. It still achieves destruction. Go for the legs. Size doesn't matter. People really stick to their guns sometimes. Ooh. Losing the will to fight? Because Gintoki himself is like the light in the darkness, isn't he? Bye. Coming prepared, I see. Lupin. I haven't seen Lupin, but I've got a neighbour who really likes it because he is Italian and apparently watched it a lot growing up. So, what is the lesson he took from the teacher? Other than just hating the world because they were separated. I'd say that is possibly true because even something incredibly that guy was fine, memorable and important to him, it's part of Gintoki's personality to not hold everything, at least material. And the Shinsengumi didn't do anything. That badminton racket could have been very useful. So, setting up things for the future. Is Katsura going to uphold the deal as well and supply Sadaharu's food? Also, it's a good thing the umbrella didn't get damaged. I would like if Shinpachi himself took a bit more of a role closer to the end of it, but he did well. He was integral, so nice. And since I was effectively shouted at a multitude of times to stop immediately, I guess I have to comply. But I definitely got what I was asking for quite often in Gintama and having a full, well, straight up battle sequence. So my own bloodlust will be sated for a while. And you can tell the three have and their acceptance over, I think it's just a grief process. One is angry at the world and wants it to burn. One is somewhat wanting to reform things, even if from a destructive standpoint at least. And then you've got Gintoki, who is life happens. One at least attempt to enjoy it. And yes, I am incredibly glad that I watched this because the animation was brilliant. Quite a few good music scores in there. Scenes that I didn't know I needed. And I think above all, one that I'm going to lament the loss of: the aspect ratio. Going back to 4:3 is going to be rough. But hopefully I'll get over it. If you want to go on that journey with me, then make sure to stick around, because there will definitely be more Gintama in the future, especially after that. So, if you've enjoyed, let me know down below. If you want to see more, you better leave a comment. And if you want to never miss out in the future, subscribe to the channel. I know a lot of you aren't doing that. But to make sure you stay up to date, you might want to turn on the bell. But after this intense bout of animation, maybe you need a rest? Make sure you look after yourself, so I can see you in the next one. And if you want to become the samurai to my Edo, then you too can join on to the Patreon and help this become a reality. Much like many of these gorgeous people here, especially Flawed Otaku, Sal, Raywin, Yuki Ali, Aegis TR, Denamet 1997, Louis Almanza, Aisha M, Danny Chui, and of course, everyone. Especially if you've made it this far. I really do thank you. Please, come back for more. God damn that one-eye bastard.